Alright, it took a second to turn on, but this is Magic. I'm going to be doing some more casting of ButteryLlama. ButteryLlama, a very good Grandmaster level player, playing as Zerg, of course. So yeah, whoops, I forgot I'm on his view. He likes to show off and do the one F1 split, and that's what he does. And to me, it's a little bit harder to Zerg just because you have to do SD before building a drone, instead of like just S for SV or E for probe. So I mean, I don't know. He likes to show off like that, just have good mechanics, have good clicking skills and all that, because that's what I like most, clicking skills. I deselect and misselect and all that, misclick and all, make so many mistakes like that. But anyways, ButteryLlama has spawned at the top left position as our blue Zerg, and we have ONEKyhol. Cryhole? I guess I'm just going to pronounce it that way. I don't care. He's spawned at the bottom here, so our red Zerg player. Bottom right to be precise, and well, he's probably going to be adding on a Splatty Bow. There it is, going up. Especially since you can't even add on a barracks without a Splatty Bow since the patch, a patch long ago. You couldn't build, yeah, I mean, because back then there was actually 2 barracks all in would be actually really strong because you wouldn't need a Splatty Bow to build a barracks. But anyways, ButteryLlama did an extractor trick, got up 11 drones. And now he's adding on 3 more. So now that the Overlord's out, we'll see if he goes hatch first or pool first. Generally speaking, against Terran, you do go hatch first every single time, just because if there is some kind of bunker play with Marines, a two barracks Marine, you still want to get that hatch up first, because otherwise your production is going to be way behind. And there's that hatch going down right on 15. What was I saying? Oh, because what that if he does put if Terran does put down a bunker around this hatch, like say like right now, and Marines eventually get here, by the time they get here and whatnot, the hatchery is going to be finished, and you can put down a spine crawler, you can put down and get some drones out to help defend it, but in the long run it is going to be much better off than if you were just going pool first. So I like that a lot. Lots. So anyways, looks like Cryhole going to be just adding on a Marine. Apparently he's going to go right to the mineral line to mine, but funny, he can't mine because he's a Marine. But an SV is going to be coming out to scout that fast ground position. Now, of course, the cross position is really not much slower. I mean, it's really the same, almost the exact same distance. I mean, this ramp here from this, the distance here is not really all that much. But when you're thinking about, okay, the SCV would go up here, or the units would go up here, or from here, that's really not that much of a difference, right? So, just to point it out. But the pool is going to be finished up here. There it is, and no gas quite yet. So I believe it's just going to be adding on some queens, and no second queen quite yet. Looks like, well, he can't afford it. I'm just kind of surprised he's not getting a second queen. Kind of a blunder there, Mr. ButteryLlama. But not a big one, I guess. He's adding on a Zergling just to scout around and all that good stuff. Looks like Terran going for a fast command center after 1 barracks. Now, this is totally... I don't know, totally risky. Even, he scouted Zerg, and Zerg knows that he's not, he knows that Zerg's not being aggressive, but, at any given time, right now, for example, Zerg could add on a lot of Zerglings. Of course, he doesn't have the gas for the speed. Now, that is a big indicator to say, okay, he's not going to be attacking in here. But even without the speed, like right now, if he added on a ton of Zerglings, Terran would be in actually a lot of trouble, because, I mean, he doesn't have the production capabilities to produce a lot of Marines. It'll take time to get those production buildings, and now he's adding on a bunker, so, I mean, I guess that is the correct way to do it. So, if you want to be extra safe, he knows that he's safe right now, but he might not be safe a little bit later on, so he needs to get that bunker up ASAP. And he's even added on a factory, so I mean, he's just really being aggressive for this tech and the economy. Now that is, like, usually I say that is a huge risk, because your military will suffer greatly. But at the same time, since he's adding this bunker to defend, bunkers are pretty much invincible. And he scouted Zerg knowing that there is no gas for speed, no gas for roaches and all that, so he knows that he's going to be safe, so it is good play. Anyways, the Zerg just going to be happily adding on a hatchery. Did he? Whoops. Totally went back for... I did not mean to do that. I'm just going to fix it. There we go. Alright, so did Zerg find it? Yeah, he did kind of see the command center. I'm not well, he must have seen it going up. Yeah, he saw it going up with the drone. Okay, so that's how he knows it's there. That's why he's getting that expansion and all that good stuff. even putting out on the spine crawler in case there's some kind of fancy business with Marines and whatnot. Against Hellions, this one spine crawler is really not going to do too much. The Hellions will take some extra damage, but the Hellions can quickly just pass right by and do a ton of damage, so you got to be careful of that. But since he knows that, okay, he's fast expanding, he's probably not going to tech play because it is that unsafe. But it looks like he going with it anyways, getting that Hellion up, getting up a tech lab. Now, of course, the Hellions are going to be a little bit delayed than if he was one base, but they are going to be able to get in there, maybe do some damage, and maybe ButteryLlama just isn't so aware of the Hellion after the fast command center. Because I mean, that's a timing that I don't think a lot of people run into, because they're usually they would just die if they did that. So just have a good scout though, knowing what's up with the scouting. That's Terran did that really well, so he's able to do that. But so ButteryLlama, I don't know if he's going to do this properly or not. It looks like he's getting a lair and an evolution chamber for some upgrades, and well, Terran is getting the blue flame, so I mean he's pretty much going to go pretty heavy on the Hellions for now. He does have 3 factories up, I do want to stress that, so he's going to go pretty heavy on the mech. Looks like no barracks at all, just add on an armory, so he's going to be going to mech play for sure, just pure mech. Now that is something I don't really like to see too much, just because mutas are very strong against pure mech. If you don't have enough Marines to help out with that, you need a ton of Thors, because if Zerg magic boxes, you're just going to lose your entire mech army, because nothing else can attack air, and if Thors can't deal with the mutas very well, you're going to be losing a lot of stuff. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if he goes Mutalisk or not. That's generally what I like to see, is a lot of mutas. Looks like he's just going to be throwing down a Baneling Nest kind of blindly. I don't agree with this so much, just because it is kind of blind. But then again, Terran just always throws down Marines, because Marines are good against Banelings and Zerglings, or good against Zerglings. So that's why you get the Baneling Nest. And it looks like ButteryLlama not even spreading this creep out. That's kind of something that I don't do a lot either, so I can understand that, but it is much better to get your creep spreading. He's got to try not to be lazy. But anyways, the Hellions are out trying to do some kind of poking business. Not going to really be able to get in there, since he does have this good building placement, keeping that spine crawler pretty safe there. Now, of course, like I said, Terran could just swing right by that spine crawler, attack some drones, but I mean, I don't know if it's really worth it. You're pretty much just setting Zerg back, not money-wise, because he can just add on the drones instantly. He's just setting them back larva-wise, and maybe you want to push right afterwards. That would be a good thing to do if you're about to push, because then he wants to add on some drones, but can't because he's adding on some military units, so it sets him back economically, because otherwise you're really not. But anyways, he is getting that Spire, or ButteryLlama is anyways, and an Infestor Pit to deal with potential Thors. Now that he sees a bunch of Hellions, he might be assuming that Terran is going pretty heavy on the mech play, but it looks like he's maybe going to scout the front. Nope, not quite yet. Just doing a little wraparound, get some good surrounds going, picking off those Hellions. Good job there. Losing a couple of Banelings and whatnot, but not a big deal. Anyways, looks like ONEKyhol is going to be adding on a command center, going to be taking a third pretty shortly here, and that is a very good timing for the third. But he does have some Thors coming out. No tanks yet, so I don't believe... Actually, he does have a couple of tanks. I'd say definitely needs to add on a couple more tanks, but, well, not a bad choice. Getting up some Thors, because Thors are pretty awesome. And you're going to want to deal with Mutalisks that are probably coming out, in fact, are out. So, well, I don't know. He doesn't know that the Spire is there. He's not aware that these Mutalisks are on the field, but the Mutalisks are coming across the field now. Going to be attacking. Actually, this drop is leaving the base right as the Mutalisks are entering. And while, okay, I was going to say, if he's not going to see that medevac, that's a huge blunder, just not checking the minimap and all that. But it looks like he checked right at the last second. This medevac's going to go down. One Hellion inside getting taken out, and now these Hellions are trapped back here, going to be taken out as well. It looks like the Banelings has come to respond to it as well. Kind of a blunder there. And these Mutalisks are actually bunched up quite a bit. That's not what you want to be doing. Those Mutalisks are going to be taking a lot of extra damage there. And, well, like I said, it's a very fast matchup. You have to be pretty fast on the draw for anything. Very fast reflexes. Oh, there's a drop over there. Oh, there's a drop over here at the same time. Oh, I got to put my Mutalisks over here because they're being attacked. There's a lot of stuff going on, plus the macro and all that. So, just being a little preoccupied with his base macro instead of worrying about those mutas, which is the difference between, I guess, a really good player, a professional player, and a high-level grandmaster player. Just being a little bit extra faster, so you can deal with a whole bunch of things at once. But These Thors do have the +1 attack, and so do these Hellions since they have the same +1 since it's vehicle +1. Mila's trying to get in here, pick off some guys, but it looks like the Thors are not far. Excuse me. Wow, not far behind. And well, Zerg taking a 4th. He has a 3rd and a 4th, and just lots of bases, lots of money. Definitely needs a macro hatch right now, because he does have some extra money, unless he's going to be going ultras or something like that. But well, I don't know. Terran does have a lot of Thors out here. He's taking that base safely, since he does have a pretty big army. Now, with mech, if you're going to be expanding, you can't attack. I mean, you can, but it's not quite as safe. You want to be defending it. Whereas if you're going infantry, you want to be attacking, you know, saying, okay, I'm going to be attacking from this position and this position, and you're not going to be able to attack me because you have to worry about so many different defenses. So, you know, I would not say it's the best idea to push out here, especially since they're so slow. Zerglings could just wrap around here and do some damage, banelings and whatnot, take that command center out, and then, well... Oh, actually, Terran actually noticing that those banelings actually burrowed, taking them out, and all that good stuff. So, some good... you know, little pokes there. I mean, he can go up to Watchtower. That's good since it's close to his 3rd base. But at the same time, you know, his natural here could be a little bit of a problem if Zerg got in there and did some damage. So you got to be careful of all that different things, all those different things. But ButteryLlama pretty much is going to be adding on a lot of roaches here. A couple of Zerglings getting that Hive Tech. Where is it? There's the Hive Tech going up. What else is he? He just got something else. What was it? What was it? Another Spire, so he's going to be very aggressive with his upgrades, I guess? I don't know, maybe he just doesn't want the Spire to die. And, well, there's a lot of Thors out here. Plenty of Roaches. Infestors do have the Narrow Parasite, which is pretty much the direct counter to Thors, unless there are a lot of tanks with them. And there aren't too many, so, I mean, it really depends on the placement of the tanks, how they are, compared to where the Thors are. It looks like the expansion is going to go down for Zerg. And ButteryLlama now with the +2 attack, +1 armor. ONEKyhol having the +2 attack. No armor on this mech, but the banelings are right under there. They could explode, and they're not going to. They could have taken out all those. Oh no! Come on, use him. He's got it selected. Oh, he's gonna take those guys out. Well, I guess that was somewhat worth it. You know, once you have it selected, you're like, okay, I want him to run over here again and again. You know, and he doesn't, and it's like, okay, I really gotta explode these guys so I can continue on macroing or something. So I believe that's what it was. It's like, okay, I really gotta, you know, get back to what I'm doing. But he did have him selected for a while, ready to go. Needs to be a little more careful with this creep spread, or I mean with this larva spewing, but whatever. Looks like Terran's going to be expanding up here in the northern position. Already got SCVs going over there. And Terran doing a smart thing of going in the middle. You pretty much want to contain Zerg from the middle, because that would protect all of your bases at once, because Zerg has to go through the middle. And actually a big blunder. All those roaches were not attacking. Now they are. There's the Neural Parasite going off. All those Thors are now under the control of ButteryLlama. Now they're going to be taken out. Now, the reason why I said tanks and Thors is because tanks can kill off the infestors fairly easily, you know, if you just target fire them. But of course, those Thors popped out a little bit too close to those infestors, while those tanks were a little bit too far away. So those tanks were not able to really help out there. So I mean, I really think that you need Thors like directly in front of the tanks or around where the tanks are instead of in front of them like that, because that is going to be an issue. And that's to me, that's how you properly micro that kind of situation as Terran. As Zerg, you just kind of hope that that happens so you're able to do that. Otherwise, you don't have the range to do it. And, well, he does have a bunch of Corruptors out here, and they are being morphed into Broodlords. So he does have that Greater Spire upgraded. He's getting the +1 armor as well, but there's a Hellion back here that's going to be taken out by that Queen. I don't believe he got any real kills there. But, I don't know, this is why you don't really, I don't know, the other thing about mech you gotta be really careful about. Roaches are pretty strong. You know, tanks do extra damage against armored. Roaches are armored, obviously. But tanks are actually better off against banelings and Zerglings. You know, with support from Marines, of course. Of course. You know, tanks alone against Zerglings are horrible. You know, take out some Zerglings, but then the Zerglings just wrap around you and you die. So, that's not very good. But, what was I saying? Oh, but you know, so roaches are actually very strong since Hellions really can't deal with them at all. So very good choice by ButteryLlama. Once he, you know, found out that Terran was going for those mech units, you know, definitely a good play. Surprised Terran's not going to be taking this base up here quite yet. He's probably just adding on some more production stuff. Looks like no buildings, but lots of different units. He even has some ghosts coming out doing a good old snipe or EMP on the infestor. EMP very strong against infestors since infestor, you know, Fungal Growth has a range of 7. And EMP has a range of 9, so EMP pretty much just wins. So you've got to be really careful with your infestors from here on out once you see those